Srīmad Bhāgavatam. Today we're gonna discuss Canto 1, Chapter 19 and verse number 8. Prabhuji, would you like to share the verse? Thank you, Prabhuji. So verse number 8. Tatropajagmur punana mahanubhava munaya sashishya प्रायेण तीर्थाभिगमापदेशः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनाति सन्तः. We'll do word to word translation. Tatra, there. Upajagmuhu, arrived. Bhuvanam, the universe. Punanaha, those who can sanctify. Mahanubhava, great minds. Munayaha, thinkers. Sashishya, along with their disciples. Prayena, almost. Tirtha, place of pilgrimage. Abhigama, journey. Apadeshaha, on the plea of. Swayam, personally. He, certainly. Tirthani, all the places of pilgrimage. Punati, sanctify. Santaha, sages. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages, who could verily sanctify the places of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
I can read, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
When Maharaj Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great-minded sages who could follow the importance of the occasion all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Maharaj Parikshit and not to take a bath of pilgrimage, because all of them were competent enough to sanctify the places of pilgrimage. Common men go to pilgrimage sites to get themselves purified of all sins. Thus the places of pilgrimage become overburdened with the sins of others. But when such sages visit overburdened places of pilgrimage, they sanctify the places by their presence. Therefore, the sages who came to meet Maharaj Parikshit were not very much interested in getting themselves purified like common men, but on the plea of taking a bath in that place, they came to meet Maharaj Parikshit because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Śukadeva Gosvāmī. All of them wanted to take advantage of the great occasion. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. So, dear devotees, we are reading from Srīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, and we are continuing to verse 8. So, in the last verse, Ramanash Prabhu very nicely covered how Maharaj Parikshit sat down on the bank of Ganga and decided to fast until death, and how he gave himself to lotus feet of Krishna. So if we actually observe what we have witnessed in this section of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, whatever we have witnessed is very uncommon. It is more or less like an anomaly. And actually, it's not just one anomaly, it's a group of anomalies, all these events. So we can think, why would a qualified and a strong Kshatriya like Maharaj Parikshit would ever feel hungry, thirsty, or fatigued. He has never felt this before, but somehow this was very uncommon for him to experience that. Then why would a pure devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, who himself is the maintainer of Brahmanical culture, who is a Raj Rishi himself, would be frustrated because of not being properly received by Shamik Rishi who was lost in trance? And not only that, being frustrated, he actually, out of that frustration and anger, put a dead snake on his neck. So that doesn't sound like a behavior from a Raj Rishi, from a pure devotee, but still it was very uncommon. It was an anomaly. Then, even after that, why would son of Shamik Rishi, Shringi, who is a powerful Brahmana boy, but being affected by Kali due to his pride, would curse the king of the world, which is Maharaj Parikshit, who's Maharaj Parikshit, for this offense that he has done to his father, and he would curse him to basically to die eventually for such a small offense. So curse of death for such a small offense. So again, very, very uncommon. And he did that without even investigating himself things, without even consulting his own father, who is also his guru, without getting any explanation from Maharaj Parikshit. He pretty much just declared what he wanted to do. So again, this was very uncommon. And then he eventually became the cause of the fall down of Brahmanas and the whole Varnashram society. So, lot of anomalies. And then what happened to Maharaj Parikshit? Who's Maharaj Parikshit? Is he an ordinary person? No. Maharaj Parikshit, who is descendant of Pandavas, who are the great devotees of Lord, who comes in the lineage of Kuru dynasty, the famous Kuru dynasty, who is grandson of Arjun, who and possesses all strength and qualification to be a Kshatriya and a ruler of the world. Maharaj Parikshit, who was himself protected by Krishna in his mother's womb, one who is known as Vishnu Rat, who is who is known as Parikshit because he is always searching for Krishna, who he saw in his mother's womb. He's always examining everyone. That's why his name got Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit, who is protector of Brahmanas, the cows. He's maintainer of Brahmanical culture, the Varnashram Dharma. He's a pure devotee of the Lord. What's happening to such an exalted person? He's sitting down on the bank of Ganga, accepting the curse, and decided to fast until death. So, a ruler of the earth a week before to sitting down at the Ganga, leaving all his responsibility and fast and accepting this as God's grace, Krishna's grace, and sitting down. So again, it's just a constant, a group of anomalies. It's just a whole decoration of anomalies all around. So what we can ascertain is that why is this happening is because time factor, which is Krishna's manifestation in the material world, can overpower so-called karmic reactions, whether it is positive or negative. Sometimes we also experience that, some people are doing such amazing things, but something small happens in their life and their life changes overnight. Or the other way around, someone doesn't do anything, but overnight their life changes for good. So we can only understand that manifestation of certain events rests with the time factor, which is manifestation of Krishna himself. To understand this through another example, we can take an example of a farmer. So a farmer, as part of his dharma, his varnashram dharma, or his duty, he has this duty to choose the best quality seeds. He has to select the appropriate season to prepare the land. Then he has to do some back calculations when the monsoon's gonna come, and based on that back calculation, he needs to plan when he needs to sow the seed. So he can actually plan all this. Yeah. So there is effort in planning, in preparing the land, in selecting the quality of seeds, or when the farmer should sow the seeds. But then he eventually awaits for the rains after he sows the seeds. And with rains, it's not an easy calculation. People who know, especially who do, organic farming without irrigation, and especially a lot of farms in India are still relying on rains for agriculture. So with rains, there are so many permutation and combinations. that can take place. For example, if the rains come too early, so that could actually destroy the crop because the seeds are not ready for germination. Then the second combination could be rain could come right at the time or a week before or a week after, which is within the tolerance. And if that happens, actually everything could go well. If his calculation comes out right, the crop could flourish and his life could completely change. But it could also happen the rain could come several weeks later and hence not giving enough water for the seeds to germinate at the right time, and again practically destroying the crop and another year for the farmer. And this is just the timing of the rains, but then there is also quantity of the rain. If the rain comes on, even if the rain comes on time, if it comes too less, it's not enough water for the seeds to germinate. If it's too much, it can practically flood the crop. So this is just an example where rain is acting like the time factor, whose actual response is sometimes independent of all the efforts and the planning done by the farmer at that time. So this is an example of the famous Bhagavad Gita shloka that we all know. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangotsva karmani. So Krishna says, you have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. So basically what we can learn is through this is we don't control the results of our efforts. We can control the quality of the action. We can have a goal towards which we are striving for, but we cannot control the result. We can put our best efforts and we can try to manifest a certain result, but Krishna controls the results. So he can grant those results if he desires, or he might have a completely different agenda to us. Sometimes we have seen in our life, they take this extreme turn which we have never planned for. And at that time, we are completely bewildered. Why this is happening? What did I do? But some years goes by and then we see, oh, looking back, oh, this was the best thing that could have happened. I would have never planned this. So Krishna can intervene where Krishna wants to. So we are understanding that whatever is happening is uncommon or it's an anomaly because it is Krishna's will. So today we are reading a similar theme, and another uncommon thing we are reading in today's verse is that the saintly people, the grand-minded sages who could follow the importance of this occasion, which is the occasion of Maharaj Parikshit retiring and about to hear Srīmad Bhāgavatam, and they arrived at that place of pilgrimage, which is the river Ganga, on the plea of pilgrimage or on the excuse of pilgrimage. But what's the anomaly? That actually these people don't need to go to a pilgrimage because these are the ones who actually purify or sanctify the pilgrimage when it is accumulated with a lot of sins of other people. They actually came to meet Maharaj Parikshit, not to take bath in that pilgrimage. They are very competent enough to even to purify these places. So this is another anomaly we notice, which is also completely we can understand is Krishna's arrangement because it's such a big anomaly. And Prabhupada finishes the purport by saying that because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Śukadeva Gosvāmī, all of them wanted to take advantage of this great occasion. So we can think, how come these saints knew about what is going to happen? They were at different places and there was no Twitter or there is no Facebook, there is no WhatsApp communities. How are they knowing all this? So these saints are knowing everything because a lot of these saints are so advanced that they are Trikal Darshi, or they can see the three types of time, which is past, present, and future. Most of us can only see present and we are only worrying about past and future. But these guys, these saints can see past, present, and future. And how can that happen? Because Krishna in their heart has revealed this knowledge to them. This knowledge of past, present, and future. And how come Krishna is revealing this knowledge? Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavishto matta smritirgyanam hapohanam cha vedescha sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva chaham. So Krishna clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, from me, comes remembrance, and from me comes forgetfulness. So, and another interesting thing is all these saints have come here, which is Krishna's arrangement, and one of these saints is Suta Goswāmī himself. So Suta Goswāmī was in this audience of devotees who heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Maharaj Parikshit, and later he repeated this same Bhagavatam on the request of the sages of Naimisharanya who were doing a 1,000-year yagya, and eventually Srimad Bhagavatam, through that assembly of the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, eventually spread throughout the world. And somehow or the other, it has come to our disciplic succession, and we are also getting this opportunity, this mercy, to have access to Srimad Bhagavatam, to read Srimad Bhagavatam, to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam daily, like what we are doing today. So again, this is all Krishna's arrangement. If Krishnas would not have done all those uncommon things, we wouldn't have reached to this situation in time where Srimad Bhagavatam is accessible to everyone in the world. So we know that a lot of people from different faiths and different religions, they go to different places of pilgrimage or places of worship. So we all know that followers of demigods, they go to demigod temples on different days of the week. So some people go to Lord Shiva temples on Monday. Some people go to Hanuman temples on Tuesday. Some people go to Shani Dev temple on Saturday. So different demigods, people have different days to glorify them. Some people go to specifically then to a Durga temple, or some people also go to Vishnu temples. And the followers Catholic Church, they go to usually to the temples on Sundays. And then these are places of worship, these temples or churches. And then we also know then there are places of pilgrimages. So for example, Vaishnavas goes to pilgrimage or dhams like Vrindavan, Mayapur or Jagannath Puri. Demigod worshippers might go to Kedarnath or Amarnath or Vaishno Devi or other temples, other places of pilgrimage in India. So a lot of them also go to sacred rivers which have relations to Lord or Lord's pastimes, such as Ganga or Yamuna. Some of them go to mega events, like we recently had the Mahakumbh Mela in India, which happens every 12 years. I think this happened this year, and a lot of people went to India to participate in this at Prayagraj. And even people of Western origin this time were in huge numbers to attend this Kumbh Mela, because this was once in a lifetime opportunity to attend, as per some experts. And I was reading some stats that around 660 million people have attended that Mela. So we can think, what is the population of Australia? So Australian population as per 24 is 27 million. So this is around 24 times the population of Australia have attended just that one event in 1 year. This is the amount of, people have desire to attend these pilgrimages or these holy events or holy places. So let's understand this word pilgrimage. So pilgrimage is also known as the word tirtha, which literally means where one can cross the ocean like a narrow river. So the ocean is very fast, very, very, very vast. So it's very difficult to cross the ocean. And what ocean we are referring to? So the oceans of the material existence, the samsara, the existence of this existence in this material world in 8,400,000 species. So this ocean is really vast, but at these pilgrimages, this ocean becomes narrow like a river, and it's easy to cross to the other end. So tirthas, they act like a passageway, a crossing place, a portal where we can go from materialistic to transcendental consciousness or awareness. And we can think, in typical example, like tirtha is some place where one can get a phone or a Wi-Fi signal, allowing us to access some other reality, which is not accessible at normal places. Or tirtha can also be compared to an embassy of a foreign land. So tirthas can be basically considered as representation of the spiritual world. Tirthas can also be created also. We can create tirtha by creating temples. So temples are also these embassies. So they are places of worship. And then we can also create tirthas by creating a temple at our own home, an altar at our own home with their deities or picture of the lordships and do worship. So we can make our own home also as tirthas. And then there is another type of holy place which is called dhama in Sanskrit, dham. So dham is not a passage to spiritual world, but is actually spiritual reality itself, appearing as if part of the world. So Dhamma is actually not created or destroyed, and even at the time of the universal dissolutions, these Dhammas are still there. One such Dham is Vrindavan Dham. Spiritual activities here, if performed at Vrindavan Dham, have 1,000 times the benefit done at other places. Why? Because Krishna and his eternal pastimes are always there, but only people who have purified hearts are able to see them, are able to perceive them, are able to see their presence directly. And of the whole Braj Mandal area or Vrindavan area, the most sacred places are Govardhan Hill, and the two ponds, which is Radha Kunda and Shamakunda, are the topmost places within that. So so we understand there are dhammas as well. So just want to share that the Burbank temple is also taking devotees for the first time to these holy dhams. So we're going to visit Vrindavan Dham and basically try to get these experience, try to experience all the purification, because there are so many saints there, hearing Krishna Katha, and try to access that narrow passageway, which is like a river in compared with the material ocean. So if you are interested, please reach out to either myself or Rasamandala Prabhu. So yeah, we see so many of these people go to different temples, pilgrimages, churches, holy rivers, Kumbh Melas. But we can also see that different people have different motivations when they go there, which means not necessarily everyone is going to these pilgrimages or sacred holy baths, to seek love of God or to seek pure devotional service. Some just go, for simple reasons, just to ask for relief from miseries or desiring wealth or other siddhis or other powers. Some just even go to ask for peace. And it's okay to ask for all those things. Some people just go to wash away their sins because somehow or the other they realize they have accumulated a lot of sins. So people who follow Catholic Church, they go to the temples, the churches once a week on Sundays to confess all their sins to the priest. But some of them might think that if they do that, they have a license to do anything throughout the week, because as long as they are confessing that one day of the week. And this is happening with a lot of people of the Vedic or Indian tradition as well. They are following demigod worships, and they do all sorts of sins throughout the week or year, but then they think that they can go to either a pilgrimage or one day a temple, and then they can get rid of all the sins and still ask for all what they need. But the question is, why people are committing all these sins in the first place? This is because this is the age of Kali, which is also called the age of ignorance. And when one is in ignorance, that means that eventually, maybe not now, maybe not immediately, but eventually they will form one or the inappropriate action out of that ignorance, or that inappropriate action will be a sinful action. And because of that, the sins gets accumulated, or sinful reactions start to get accumulated, and they feel the heat in them because of accumulation of those sins. So they want to use these places of pilgrimage or holy places to wash away their sins, because sometimes it's very difficult to even exist on a normal day-to-day basis if the sins go too much. So what to say about demigod worshippers? Even devotee of Vishnu and Krishna can have different motivations for coming to Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.16, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna artho jignasurarthati jnani cha bharata sava. So Krishna says, O best of the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of Absolute. So even for devotees of Krishna, they can have different desires when they go to Krishna. And it's okay to have those desires. At least they are going to Krishna, and they will start with a lower level of intent, which is desire of wealth. But eventually, with time, purification happens when one worships Krishna, and then they might go to this level of just asking for uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service to the Lord at some point of time. But this is the normal people we were talking about. But what do saintly people do? Once Mother Ganga asked Krishna that Krishna in Kali Yuga, the sins of people will increase, because as we know in Kali Yuga, the three legs of the dharma are already broken, and the fourth leg, which is truthfulness, is just also shaking, because it's only present in the form of Shastra, not in form of the people. So pretty much there is no dharma around here. So automatically, if there is no dharma, the sins will increase. Then so Mother Ganga was concerned that what will happen if that happens, because people will come and wash away their sins in her, in Ganga by taking bath. So in response, Krishna says that in Kali Yuga, yes, sins will definitely increase, and Mother Ganga will also have to wash away those sins. But when pure Vaishnavas takes bath in that same Ganga, then Ganga will become more pure and will attain more purity. So the pure devotee will actually alleviate Mother Ganga of all those sins. And we see that most of Krishna's pastime have actually taken in Yamuna. So yes, in Dwapar Yuga, Yamuna got actually more mercy because she got more association with Krishna. That's why she is considered topmost. But we also see in Kali Yuga, Ganga also got mercy of Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu did so many pastimes on Ganga that Ganga also got lot of mercy. And since then, Ganga also got lot of potency and has ability to even purify more sins. It's because of Mahaprabhu doing so many pastimes in Mother Ganga. So what to say about Vaishnavas taking bath in Ganga can purify Ganga? Narottam Das Thakur in his bhajan, E Baro Karuna Karo says, Gangara parasa hoile paschate pava darshane pavitra karo e tumara go. So Narottam Das says, he's glorifying the Vaishnav Gosvāmīs, the Acharyas. He's saying that after bathing in the waters of sacred places many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you or a Vaishnava, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. So just by sight, imagine how powerful is presence of a Vaishnava, of a saint. On a similar line, in Srīmad Bhāgavatam, we read very recently in chapter 13 of first Canto, Maharaj Yudhishthira, when he was receiving Vidura, who had been visiting sacred places of pilgrimage, the Maharaj Yudhishthira addressed Vidura, said that pure devotees like him are actually personified holy places, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead always is present in their hearts. And by their association, by association of such pure devotees like Vidur, sinful persons are freed from sinful reactions, and therefore, wherever a pure devotee goes is a sacred place of pilgrimage. We see how Dhritarashtra was such an impious person throughout his life. He committed so many sinful actions. But just with association of Vidura towards the end of his life, he was able to finally convince him to renounce everything and take to the path of self-realization. So this is the power of a pure devotee, that he acts like this mobile place of pilgrimage. Wherever he goes, just through his association, just through his sight, through his words, he can actually change hearts of people. And when people's hearts are changed, their sinful reaction also get destroyed, and they take to the path of Krishna consciousness. So what we can learn from this, that whenever we go to places of these pilgrimage, we should not just see them as places of tourism or sightseeing. We should try to associate with Vaishnavas there. we should try to hear from Vaishnavas there, because that's where the mercy lies. And as our temples here are also the spiritual embassies, so when we even go to temples also, we should not have any chat, any mundane chat. We try to avoid mundane chat. We should try to focus and seek association of Vaishnavas. We should hear classes when they are happening. We should try to get purified. Understand that this lecture is happening for my purification, not for someone else. So we should take the maximum advantage out of these holy places by taking association of these Vaishnavas. And what is association of Vaishnava means? Hearing from them and trying to follow their instructions. That is association. So we should also follow the Vaishnavas. We should also follow our Shiksha Gurus, the instruction of Shiksha Gurus, instruction and examples of a Shiksha Guru, our Diksha Gurus, our initiating spiritual masters. We should also take association of any senior visiting Vaishnavas who have come here, any Vaishnava who has surrendered their lives in preaching Krishna consciousness, preaching glories of Krishna, glories of holy name. Because just by their sight on us for a fraction of a second can purify us of sins that we have committed in many lifetimes. What to speak about if we get opportunity to serve them. So it's 7:01. I would like to stop here and ask everyone if they have any comments or any realizations that they would like to share. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If no other questions, thank you so much for joining today's session. Grantraj Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful day.
Ram Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.